Well, it is caucus day in Iowa. Hard to believe, I know. But here we are, kicking off the 2024 run for president with former President Donald Trump on track right now to claim the prize in Iowa tonight, and then in just over a week in New Hampshire, and then really it's off to the races. Trump could secure a mark in Iowa not measured in modern times tonight by getting more than 50% of the caucus votes. And if the pollsters can get it right for once, he is on track for that to happen. Could end up with somewhere between 52 and 54% of the support. But no matter whether he does it or not, it's clear he will win by a wide margin. We will, of course, be following that all day, and we'll have special coverage beginning tonight at 6 o'clock right here on Real America's Voice, so don't miss any of that. Then a win in New Hampshire on January the 23rd would pretty much wrap it up in his bid to become the 47th president. And again, if the polls can be believed and the people, you, turn out to vote, then he will win in a walkaway. But the question I want to ask you and have you consider right now is, what is up for grabs in 2024? How important is it that you vote? What's up for grabs? Well, my answer is everything. I was at church yesterday, and the sermon focused on what we're facing in America, and honestly, around the world as we're getting deeper into this election year. Pastor Rick was on the money for me and Ivy when he pointed out how confusing it must be growing up these days. I mean, think about it. There are no rules, no guidelines, no absolutes, no guardrails. It's a free-for-all where anything goes. I mean, those on the left can tell kids they can pick any gender they want, throw out meaningless jumbles of letters and pretend it's a gender, but those jumbles of letters are not words. They have no meaning at all. What does that do to a kid in elementary school? Oh, you can be blah, blah, blah. Really? What are you, son? I'm blah, 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 and don't call me son. They tell kids they can have everything but own nothing and not have work to do either. Yeah, don't work. If you do work, it's likely because you have some sort of special privilege. I never thought I would see the day when working hard and having a real work ethic would be derided as white privilege, or any other privilege for that matter. They're teaching ever younger kids that there really are no rules, like I said. Do whatever you want, whatever feels good. It doesn't matter. Anything goes. And if your parents or anyone else tries to tell you differently, they're wrong. They flood the world with lies and then scream at people like me for telling the truth every day, accusing us of spreading misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation. And of course, all of this is rooted in racism. Of course it is. Jim Clyburn says that black voters are somehow not getting real information. They're getting all the misinformation. Weird, but here it is.
My concern is much more with black voters getting the right information, getting all of the information so that they will be informed voters. That's my concern. I believe very strongly that this president has done what is necessary to earn the support of African Americans all over this country. But I'm also concerned that when we report these results, they don't always tell the full story.
Yeah, and neither do you, sir. They flood the world with lies and accuse those telling the truth of doing what they're doing out in the open. And the answer is we are not. People like me are fighting for you and them, too, every day. They just don't realize it because we fight for liberty and those God-given, inalienable rights every which way. Oh, and that malinformation thing. They've added that recently. It just means they don't like what you're saying. Not that it's wrong. Just not what they want to hear, not what they want promoted. So they give it this ominous-sounding label to scare off anyone with any intellectual curiosity who are afraid of getting smeared with some label from the left, of course. Then they tell the kids there are no rules at all. Well, except for freedom and liberty. And those must be cut back at all costs because freedom, they tell them, is dangerous. You see, they claim that having a free market capitalist system somehow breeds exploitation of the working class when, in fact, the working class has it better today than ever. And if you don't think so, look around. More people, especially in America and in the Western world, live longer, more productive lives than at any time in human history. And much of that success, if not all of it, can be traced back to some radical idealists with a crazy idea back in 1776 that the people should decide who's in charge and how things are going to be run. It's not just going to be servants of the government. That we, the people, are the government. And the Adam Smith model of economic freedom laid out in The Wealth of Nations set us on a path to create freedom not just in America, but around the world. And it has worked. Miracles, in fact, in lifting people up. Is it perfect? No. Do people cheat and take advantage of the system at the expense of others? Yes, sadly they do. But that happens in communist countries and under dictators far more and far worse than it does here.